Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. Wait, this is going to be. Hong Qianya saw something, his face was full of doubt. In the sky. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth gathered in Yi Junlin's palm like an inverted funnel, mobilizing the surging mana in his body and pouring it out. His palm slowly lifted up, and a large ball of five-colored light condensed in his palm, and then expanded wildly, like a five-colored sun across the sky, bright and blazing. Even cultivators thousands of miles away can see it. At this moment, it seemed as if time had stopped, and in the shocked eyes of everyone, there was only that dazzling five-colored light ball. This is the 5 Extremes Reincarnation Great Destruction Technique. Swish. Yi Junlin held the 5-colored light ball in his hand and gently threw it forward. This scene is like a tiny ant, but it lifted a huge rock and threw it out, which gives people a strong visual impact. Rumble. The 5-color light ball fell into the army of cultivators and exploded, forming a surging energy light. The 5 colors intertwined and entangled, magnificent, and a sense of déjà vu of the 5-color ocean. Quick to activate the defense formation. The huge warships released a defensive light curtain, but under the impact of the 5-color light, it was like window paper being torn to pieces. The cultivators inside were terrified and watched themselves being swallowed by the light. The densely packed Yuaman cultivators were all submerged, including countless golden elixirs, Yuanying, and Huashan, all of which were wiped out in this catastrophe. Amitba, we shouldn't come to die. This big devil is far more terrifying than the rumors. A group of Zen practitioners sat on the flying boat, looking at the surging 5-color light, and laughed miserably. After that, the entire flying boat was swallowed up and turned into dust. Boom boom boom. Under the cover of the 5 Extremes Reincarnation Great Destruction Technique, the army of millions of cultivators directly evaporated. This scene scared the disciples and elders of Xiantian sect. Yi Junlin's forehead was sweaty. Feeling the consumption brought by this move, he secretly smacked his lips. It is worthy of being the supreme magic. We won, we won. After a moment of silence, cheers suddenly broke out from the sect, shaking the earth. The whole Huangzhou trembled, and the local cultivators were full of admiration. Venerable Yi alone destroyed 1 million cultivators. Who can do it from ancient times to the present? Venerable Yi's divine power is unfathomable, and we admire him very much. Invincible. Venerable Yi is invincible. Exclamations rose everywhere. Amid the warm cheers, Yi Junlin returned to Piaomiao Peak. Boss, do you still need a pendant on your leg? The leader of Songjian Peak came over and admired. Junior brother Yi doesn't want a stinky man like you. The head of Tianxiang Peak pushed him away with a look of disgust, then looked at the silver-haired young man with admiration and said softly, Junior brother Yi, you have worked hard this time, let me rub your shoulders for you. The affectionate eyes seemed to be transformed into the shape of Yi Junlin. Su Yonian smiled bitterly and said, this battle finally let us see your most real cultivation, otherwise how long would you hide it from us? Junior brother Yi, Venerable Yi. Yes, yes. The other peak masters said excitedly. Seeing this, Yi Junlin coughed a few times and said, low-key, be low-key. Then he sat back on the recliner, picked up the Orlin's grilled wings and ate them happily. At this time, Hong Qianya stood there, ashamed. He thought about escaping, but in this situation, can he still escape? After witnessing Yi Junlin's strength, Hong Qianya felt that the gap between the two sides had widened again. Even if he fought back desperately, he would never win. What's more, he was in a very bad condition now, and couldn't even beat the opponent with a finger. What should I do? What should I do? Damn it, this old six is such a dog. He has the cultivation of the peak of Mahayana, but he pretends to be in the fusion realm. I have never seen such a shameless person in my life. As his thoughts fluctuated, beads of sweat appeared on Hong Qianya's forehead. Thinking of the consequences he would face next, he felt cold all over. He hated himself so much. Why was he so impulsive? Now, he exposed his ambition and tore his face in public and injured his fellow disciples. Let alone whether this master-disciple relationship can be saved, it's another matter whether his life is still there. After finishing 6 pieces of Orlan's grilled wings, Junlin took a sip of milk tea, with a comfortable look on his face. Suddenly, he noticed that Hong Qianya was standing there like a piece of wood, and raised his eyebrows and said, "Oh, you are still here?" Su Yonyan and the others were a little dizzy, and it turned out that they didn't take it to heart at all. Hong Qianya was stunned, meaning that this matter was over? As a result, the next second he looked desperate, and his whole body felt like he was falling into an ice cellar. "Brother Jian, please chop him into meat paste now, and then fertilize the sycamore tree in my yard, thank you," Junlin said seriously. The leader of Songjian Peak was a little surprised, and then nodded, "Oh, okay." Then, he drew his sword and was about to chop Hong Qianya. Plop. Hong Qianya knelt on the ground without any hesitation and shouted hurriedly, "Master, please spare my life. I am willing to make meritorious contributions and ask for forgiveness." This, the leader of Songjian Peak stopped and looked at Junlin in embarrassment. Junlin smiled and said, "Weren't you very awesome before? Why are you suddenly cowardly now?" Hong Qianya felt his cheeks burning and wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into out of shame. "Master, this time I was proud and complacent. Please give me another chance to reform." Junlin said lightly, "Slap yourself, I will stop when I say stop." "Yes." Hong Qianya raised his hand tremblingly, gritted his teeth, and slapped his face, causing blood to spurt from the corners of his mouth. As long as he can survive, this is nothing. Pa pa pa. The sound of the slap was crisp and beautiful, echoing around the mountain. "Brother Hong." Bai Xiaoxi felt a little distressed and wanted to help him up, but was stopped by Junlin's eyes. Su Yonyan's eyes kept changing, and he sighed, being a traitor to the sect should be punished, but Hong Qianya did protect Shantian's sect at the last moment, and he can be regarded as a meritorious person. "I suggest that you should be exiled to the back mountain and face the wall to reflect on your mistakes." As the leader of the sect, he valued Hong Qianya's potential very much. Although he thought Hong Qianya had a bad temper, as long as Junlin was there, he could suppress him. In the future, he would continue to guide him in the right direction, and he believed that he would eventually be able to integrate into the sect. Seeing that the time was ripe, Junlin said, "In this case, the death penalty can be avoided, but the living crime cannot be escaped. Next, you go and face the wall to reflect on the past." Hong Qianya stopped, his cheeks swollen like a pig's head, looking extremely funny. At this time, he stood up and bowed deeply, "Disciple Hong Qianya, thank you for the master's forgiveness." After that, he staggered away from Piaomiao Peak. "Your disciple is really a worry." Su Yonyan shook his head. "Among us, only junior brother Yi can subdue him. If it weren't for junior brother Yi, we would be nothing in his eyes." The head of Songjian Peak snorted coldly. "After all, he is naturally gifted. The reason why our Shantian sect can keep him is all thanks to junior brother Yi." The head of Tianxiang Peak smiled softly. Junlin sighed, "It's all my fault that I don't discipline him on weekdays, which makes him so presumptuous. Don't worry, I will continue to discipline him. He likes to see his disciple, who is obviously very unhappy, but still has to swallow his anger and force a smile." Xiaoxi. "Shushu is here. The master wants to eat hot pot." "Okay, Shushu will start right away." "Junior brother Yi, is hot pot a pot that is cooked with fire? Can this thing be eaten?" "Everyone is so curious, why not stay and try it?" "Okay." On the back mountain, a red figure stood quietly. Looking at the swollen pig head face reflected in the pond, Hong Qianya's eyes were wet, his body was shaking slightly, and he felt extremely sad. He never thought that the road to counterattack would be so difficult. "I don't believe that you can always be so proud. As long as I practice hard, I will soon reach Mahayana, or even surpass Mahayana. Junlin, you wait for me." Not long after, the results of the Battle of Huangzhou were also spread, sweeping through the remaining 13 dojo like a storm. "Let me kill you." Yi Junlin of Shintian sect is actually a Mahayana realm cultivator? Even the 18 venerables sent by Yuhua sect were killed by him? What? The army of 1 million monks was wiped out? What a sin. My brother is still inside. Hey, it seems that my sister-in-law can only be left to my care. With such a bloodthirsty spirit, the white-haired old devil must be punished by God. He is simply the #1 executioner in the eastern region. Across Florida, monks with sad faces can be seen everywhere, chanting sutras to save the souls in the distance. The Xiankong temple, which was originally full of fanfare, fell into silence after learning the news. And from a certain attic in Lingzhou, there was an incredible exclamation. Impossible. That native from the barren state is actually so strong? Is this the reincarnation of a great master from the immortal world? Shuetiani's intense exercise was interrupted again. After hearing the report from his subordinates when he was angry, Xia Yi's face was full of astonishment. The guard said bitterly, "Young master, it's true." Shuetiani was really frightened, and his back felt chilly. Fortunately, he didn't do anything that day, otherwise even his father wouldn't be able to save him. Quickly, find a few more female cultivators for this young master, and I will be able to suppress his shock. Why are you still standing there? Can't you understand people's words? Just go if I tell you to. Otherwise, I'll drag your mother over to make up for it. Hear the words. The guard looked panicked and hurriedly retreated in fear. He did not want his mother to be tortured to death by Shuetiani. Shuetiani let out a heavy breath, threw himself onto the bed and continued working. Inside the curtain, the howl like a slaughtering pig sounded again. At this time, after hearing the news of the defeat, the entire Yuhua sect was shocked. Both the disciples and the elders felt extremely incredible. How many years has passed since the Yuhua sect suffered a defeat in a foreign war? Is this the first time that it has happened? Especially the death of 18 core elders, which has undoubtedly shaken the foundation of the sect. You must know that each of them has the power of life and death over the people below them. On weekdays, they are like gods in the sect, with a high status. As a result, this time it was all gone forever. Dang, dang, dang. The death knell tolled and echoed in the sky. The atmosphere within the sect was depressing, with sobbing heard from everywhere. Are you telling the truth? In the True Inheritance Hall, Chen Xiao, who was recovering from his injuries, stood up staggeringly if he was struck by lightning, his eyes filled with horror. Holy Sun. Everything I say is true. Now this matter has been spread in the eastern region, our Yuhua sect has lost completely this time. Law Enforcement Hall Mo Lao's eyes were red and he cried. Chen Xiao staggered back, fell to the ground, and said with a sad smile, Yi Junlin, you are so scheming. You are already a Mahayana master, but you conceal your cultivation. Are you deliberately playing tricks on me? He originally thought that if he worked hard to cultivate to the combined state, he would have the capital to compete with Yi Junlin. But he didn't expect that reality slapped him in the face so quickly. That guy is not a fusion, but a Mahayana. Holy Sun, don't be discouraged. That white-haired old devil has lived for tens of thousands of years. Otherwise, how could he have such profound cultivation? You are still young and it is too early. Mahayana is too important for him. It's the end, but for you, it's a necessary stage. After all, you have the appearance of becoming an immortal. Seeing that Chen Xiao was in despair, Mr. Mo quickly spoke words of encouragement. Chen Xiao's gloomy eyes gradually brightened. Yes, this holy sun will overcome the tribulation and become an immortal in the future. How can I just admit defeat like this? Isn't it just the Mahayana realm? I will be able to break through sooner or later. That's right. Mr. Mo nodded. Suddenly, Chen Xiao seemed to have made some kind of decision, and gritted his teeth and said, Mr. Mo, please inform the superiors that I have decided to refine the sun highest object in advance, just to improve my cultivation and strength as soon as possible. What? Holy Sun, you want to? Mr. Mo's face was full of shock, and he almost suspected that his ears heard it wrong. That object of the sun, called the true fire of the sun, was rumored to have fallen from the sky millions of years ago, causing Qingzhou to be thousands of miles away and making life miserable for the people. At that time, many great powers wanted to conquer it, but were burned by the scalding true fire of the sun. With his soul completely extinguished, and just when he was at a loss, the ancestor of the Yuhua sect finally took action and sealed the true fire of the sun deep within the sect's forbidden area with great magical power. It wasn't until Qin Shao, who was carrying the immortal body of the sun, appeared that the sect's top brass remembered that this object of the sun was suitable for Qin Shao's use. However, because the power of this object is too overbearing, even if it is very compatible with the sun immortal body, due to Qin Shao's current insufficient cultivation, he can only postpone the refining. In the view of the sect, one must at least reach the Mahayana realm before they are willing to hand it over to Qin Shao for refining. Because when refining, it will be very painful and difficult. If you cultivate higher, you will lessen this feeling and be more sure of success, but if you fail, the backlash will definitely lead to death. Now, Qin Shao, who has not yet reached the body-fit state, actually offered to refine the true sun fire, which made Mr. Mo feel very embarrassed. After all, Qin Shao has been in the Yuhua sect for millions of years, and his talent and physique are extremely good. He is the best candidate to become an immortal in the future. If there is any accident in this, the gain outweighs the loss. Holy Sun, I understand your mood, but you should calm down. Old Mo. Please believe me. I just want to become stronger now. The true fire of the sun is prepared for me. This is something that has been destined for a long time. Qin Zhao's eyes were firm and he said word by word, I, the Holy Sun, want to be reborn in Nirvana. Infected by the young man's belief, Mr. Mo was greatly shocked. His eyes showed deep admiration and he sighed, okay, I will report it truthfully. Please be mentally prepared, Holy Sun. Looking at Mr. Mo's leaving figure, Qin Shao sat down cross-legged on the futon again, his thoughts suddenly came to him, and he felt like he could neither destroy nor establish, risking his life to survive. In his mind, recalling the beautiful figure in red, Qin Shao felt the shame of being defeated, a look of resentment appeared on his face, and he said in a cold voice, next time, this Holy Sun will take your life. If you want to deal with the enemy who killed your father, you must start by killing his apprentice. The Battle of Huangzhou caused a stir in the eastern region. Shantian sect's status soared crazily. Not only was it officially one of the top 10 immortal sects, it also successfully broke into the top 5. As for Junlin, his reputation has naturally skyrocketed. After being fabricated by various good people, nicknames such as the white-haired old devil, the white-haired murderer, the white devil, and the leaf devil are all placed on his head. His cruel reputation was widely circulated. Mentioning his reputation in the middle of the night would make even a crying baby stop crying. After all, he slaughtered an army of millions of monks, and countless golden elixir yuanyings died in his hands. There are also well-documented examples of how to combine gods. Even the so-called venerable Mahayana realm, a full 18 people died. Who dares to think on the bright side of such a terrifying record? There was a lot of discussion in the 14 states in the eastern region, and countless forces were in awe of Junlin. At the same time, they couldn't help but set their sights on the Feather Gate, wanting to see how the Feather Gate would react to the outside world. But what is surprising is that Yuaman, perhaps because of this loss, was really hurt, so it did not take the next step of retaliation. A few months later. Shantian sect, Piaomiao Peak. The sun was shining high and the birds were chirping. Junlin wore sunglasses and sat comfortably on a recliner. He picked up a goblet made of 1,000-year-old glass and said in a pretentious tone, Mr. Hong, please give me a glass of Lafite from 1982. Okay, Mr. Yi. Hong Qianya seemed to be used to it, with a very calm face. He stretched out his hand and put it on his chest, gently bent down to salute, then took out a bottle made of obsidian and slowly poured it into the goblet. Enter the red liquid. The red liquid smells mellow and fascinating. This is brewed from 10,000 years of blood grapes and is of great benefit to the body of practitioners. Junlin took a sip gently, with an intoxicated look on his face, and praised, very good. Hong Qianya's expression was calm and he cursed in his heart. Yes, he's gone crazy again. This guy is really mentally ill. When will this miserable life of mine end? He was speechless about Yi Junlin's behavior, but he could only cooperate with the performance due to his lust and power. Yi Junlin didn't pay attention to Hong Qianya's look that looked like he was mentally retarded. At this time, he was shaking the red wine glass, closing his eyes and humming a tune, immersed in his own world. At this time, the system prompt sounded, ding, the number of check-ins today has been refreshed. Will the host check in? Sign in. Yi Junlin's heart moved and he muttered silently. Ding, congratulations to the host for his explosive character and obtaining a supreme mount. Ding dong. The cup fell to the ground, and a pool of red wine spilled on the ground. Disciple, I know my mistake. Hong Qianya was startled, and quickly bent down and lowered his head as a conditioned reflex, thinking that it was because of himself that the silver-haired young man in front of him was dissatisfied. But Yi Junlin's mind was all on the reward. He was breathing a little quickly and secretly asked anxiously, Tongzi, tell me more fully, what kind of mount is it? Ding, it's Kuanping. It's just in its infancy, but it's also in the Mahayana realm. Please treat it well, host. Kuanping, an ancient mythical beast with unlimited growth potential, one of the strongest creatures in the heavens and the worlds, it can fly freely in the air and swim freely in the ocean. Hearing this, Yi Junlin was excited. How could a cultivator as handsome as him go out without a gorgeous mount? It's a bit too shabby to rely on yourself to fly in the sky and hide in the ground. Fortunately, the system is still quite competitive and compensates him with an ancient mythical beast Kuanping as a mount. It's really a weapon for going out to fight and show off. Huh? Hong Qianya raised his head with a suspicious face, and found that this person was very happy and didn't look angry at all, and he was very depressed in his heart. Damn, why is there a fuss? Startled,